There's a sense among a lot of people watching Britain right now that the British political class really has a great dislike for heritage British values, for the British people, and much prefers this idea of turning it into this very different kind of state than it used to be. Is it true that the British political class seems to have a real dislike for the country that put it in power and that they're supposed to represent?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what's happening at the moment is British citizens are feeling like second-class citizens in their own homeland. And David Starkey made a really good point. He's a British historian, and he was saying human rights used to be about protecting the citizen from the tyranny of the state. It now seems to be about prioritizing the minority over the majority. And that's the kind of twist that has happened with identity politics. And that's why everyone is unsure. I mean, really just recently, Angela Rayner, our Deputy Prime Minister, she pushed back a law that was supposed to be giving social housing, that's cheap housing and government housing to British citizens. She pulled that back. And now immigration, people coming here new to the country, are going to be on the same level of accessibility as British citizens. And so just small things like that, which are very meaningful to British people, are making a huge difference. And if you add things like migrant hotels, and I don't know if your audience are aware that we have tens of thousands of people, young men fleeing from the safe country of France, coming to our shores, being put up in 4-star hotels, getting 3 square meals a day, money in their pocket, and then you have people struggling to heat their homes. The sense of injustice is palpable, and that's the reason why people are really rallying out there. Add to that the cultural integration issues, rising crime, and then you have a recipe for disaster. It's not surprising we're having these protests or some of these riots, but Keir Starmer and the government have got their fingers in their ears and their head in the sand.
And Mayuran, just quickly before we go, you ran in the last general election. Unfortunately, you weren't successful. Will you remain in politics? And what was it like on the ground during the election? What sort of response did you get from your potential constituents?
I think on the whole, overwhelmingly positive. There is a huge gap in the political landscape in Britain at the moment. We have we've had a uni party, a blob, a centrist blob, which they class themselves as standing as a broad church, when in reality that just means you stand for nothing. And the British people are crying out for a voice. I think Nigel Farage and Reform UK are that voice. I think we've got 5 years to really consolidate our position and put it to the people and be a proper voice and a representative, because they are aching for it. I think the soul of Britain is really aching for change, is yearning for change, in fact.
Mayuran Senthilnathan, great to chat to you. Really pleased to get you here on Outsiders, and looking forward to getting you back on many more times to chat about what is happening in the UK. Thanks so much. Great to hear from Mayuran there over in England.